Praise Yah for thank you, Yahuwah Makosha, Yahuwah Kakutash, Adonai, Notahainu. This most awesome Shabbat Yom that you have made. We are glad to be rejoicing in it. Hallelujah, Yahusha. Hallelujah. How about that for the cosmic glitches in the last Yomim, huh? Went back to watch the Torah portion, first one, and all kinds of cosmic glitches, Yahusha manifesting, you know, talking about the theory I gave, what I discerned about us when we come into the womb, how I think I discern, I just intuitively understand that we must be shining like glitter and rainbows, like the anointed, like just more bright, more shiny, more, whoa, what's that? Look at that one, whoa. And the enemy sees that, so they go to see where that light is going into to start already plotting and scheming on taking that vessel, that conscious being, going into that vessel down from the belief of Yahusha, you know. And so my read, after I said that, I went back and looked at the video, and I saw this cosmic glitches of rainbows and colors and Yahusha's face manifesting, a bunch of rainbow colors and stuff. Because I don't see it as I'm going. I have to go watch it in the playback too, so I don't know if y'all are seeing it live. I don't see anything. I just see me recording. There's nothing going on when I'm recording and doing everything. I have to go back to the playback to see all the cosmic glitches. Y'all let me know if y'all are seeing it too. And this is my phone capturing it, but when it's on YouTube when I upload it, so I'm thinking everybody can see it. Praise yeah. But nonetheless, let's get right to it. We shall now begin the Natsarym Shabat reading with the command to Ahava Yahuwah Alahainu Adonai with all our mind, love, being, and strength, and to Ahava our neighbor as ourselves. Hallelujah, Yahusha, hallelujah, hallelujah, Yahusha. Who knows where we always start off at? The first, the first verse of the read. Who can tell me? Who knows what's coming? Matatyahu, Matthew chapter 23. Hold on. 23? I'm sorry. Matatyahu chapter 22, verse 34. But the Pharisees, the Parashim, having heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, were gathered together, and one of them, one learned in the Torah, questioned, trying him, and saying, Rabbi, what is the great command in the Torah? And Yahusha said to him, You shall wahaba Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your love, and with all your nafash, and with all your mind. This is the first and great command, and the second is like it. You shall wahaba your neighbor as yourself. On these two commands hang all the Torah and the Nabim. And when the Parashim were gathered together, Yahusha asked them, saying, What do you think concerning Hamashiach? Whose born is he? They said to him, Of Dawood. He said to them, Then how does Dawood in the Ruach call him Adani, saying, Yahuwah said to Adani, Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. If then Dawood calls him Adani, how is Hamashiach his ban? And no one was able to answer him a word, and from that yom on, no one asked him any more questions. Marcos chapter 12, verse 28. And one of the scribes, coming near, hearing them reasoning together, knowing that he had answered them well, asked him, what is the first command of all? And Yahusha answering him, the first of all the commands is, Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad, Yahuwah is one, and you shall wahaba Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your love, and with all your nafash, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. This is the first command, and the second like it is this, you shall wahaba your neighbor as yourself. There is no other command greater than these. And the scribe said to him, well said, teacher, you have spoken the truth. For there is one Elohim, and there is no other besides him. And to wahaba him with all the love, and with all the understanding, and with all the nafash, and with all the strength, and to wahaba one's neighbor as oneself is more than all the burnt offerings and slaughter offerings. And when Yahusha saw that he answered wisely, he said to him, you are not far from the reign of Elohim. And after that, no one dared to question him. And Yahusha, responding, said, while teaching in the Magdash, how is it that the scribes say that Hamashiach is the ban of Dawood? Dawood himself said by the Ruach HaKodash, Yahuwah said to Adani, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Dawood himself calls him Adani. In what way then is he his ban? And the large crowd heard him gladly. Alright, I'm gonna do this a little different, start a little in a different spot. Usually I start Davarim 5, but we're gonna start Davarim chapter 4. We're gonna go to verse 4. We'll start at verse 4. But you who are clinging to Yahuwah, your Elohim, are alive this yom, every one of you. See, I have taught you laws and right rulings, as Yahuwah, my Elohim, commanded me to do thus in the land that you go to possess, and you shall guard and do them. For this is your Chakmah, your wisdom, and your understanding before the eyes of the people who hear all these laws, and they shall say, only a wise and understanding people is this great nation. For what great nation is there that has Elohim so near it as Yahuwah, our Elohim, is to us whenever we call on him? And what great nation is there that has such laws and righteous right rulings, like all this Torah that I put before you this Yom. Only guard yourself and guard your hide diligently, lest you forget the words your eyes have seen, and lest they turn aside from your lab all the Yomim of your high. And you shall make them known to your children and your grandchildren. The Yom when you stood before Yahuwah, your Elohim, and Horab, Yahuwah said to me, gather the people to me, and I make them hear my words, so that they learn to revere me all the Yomim they live on the Arats, and teach their children. And you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to the lob of the Shamayim, darkness and cloud, dense cloud. And Yahuwah spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard a voice of words, but saw no form. You only heard a voice. And he made known to you his covenant that he commanded you to do, the 10 words, and he wrote them on 2 tablets of sapphire stone. And Yahuwah commanded me at that time to teach you laws and right rulings, for you to do them in the land that you pass over to possess. Therefore diligently guard yourselves, for you saw no form when Yahuwah spoke to you at Horab out of the midst of the fire, lest you should do corruptly, and shall make for yourselves a carved image. Lest you should do corruptly, and shall make yourselves a carved image in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the arats, or the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the shamayim. Again, not even the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any creature that creeps on the ground, or the likeness of any fish that is in the maim under the arats. Unless you lift up your eyes to the Shamayim, and shall see the sun, the moon, and the Kukabim, all the Sabaoth, all the multitude of the Shamayim, and you be drawn away into bowing down to them and serving them, that Yahuwah, your Elohim, has allotted to all the peoples under all the Shamayim. But Yahuwah has taken you and brought you out of the iron furnace, out of Natsarym, to be his people and an inheritance, as it is this Yom. And Yahuwah was enraged with me because of your words, and swore that I would not pass over the Yardan, and that I would not enter the Tub land that Yahuwah, your Elohim, is giving you as an inheritance. For I am to die in this land. I am not passing over the Yardan, but you are passing over and shall possess that Tub land. Guard yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahuwah, your Elohim, that he made for you, and shall make for yourself a carved image in any likeness Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you. For Yahuwah your Elohim is a consuming fire, a jealous Ad. When you bring forth children and grandchildren, and shall grow old in the land, and shall do corruptly, and make a carved image in any likeness, and shall do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuwah your Elohim, to provoke him, I shall call the Shamayim and the Arats to witness against you on that Yom, that you soon completely perish from the land that you pass over the Yardan to possess. You do not prolong your Yomim in it, but you are completely destroyed. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among the peoples, and you shall be left few in number among the Goyim, where Yahuwah drives you. And there you shall serve mighty ones, the work of men's hands, wood and stone. that neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell, but from there you shall seek Yahuwah your Elohim, and shall find when you search for him with all your love and with all your being in your distress, when all these words shall come upon you in the latter Yomim, then you shall return to Yahuwah your Elohim, and shall obey his voice. For Yahuwah, your Elohim, is a compassionate Al. He does not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your Abim that he swore to them. For ask now of the Yomim that are past, that were before you, since the Yom that Elohim created man on the Arats, and ask from one end of the Shamayim to the other end of the Shamayim, whether there has been a word as great as this, or has been heard like it. Has a people heard the voice of Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard and live? Or has Elohim tried to go and take for himself a nation from the midst of a nation by trials, and by signs, and by wonders, and by battle, and by a strong hand, and an outstretched arm, and by great fearsome deeds, according to all that Yahuwah your Elohim did for you in Natsarym before your eyes? You have been shown it to know. You have been shown it to know that Yahuwah himself is Elohim. There is no one besides him. From the Shamayim he let you hear his voice to instruct you, and on Arat he showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. Out of the midst of the fire. And because he ahaba your Abim, therefore he chose their seed and after them, and brought you out of Mitzrayim in his presence with his great power, to drive out from before you nations greater and stronger than you, to bring you in, to give you their land as an inheritance, as it is this Yom. And you shall know this Yom, and shall recall to your love that Yahuwah himself is Elohim in the Shamayim, above and on the Arats beneath. There is none else. And you shall guard his laws and his commands that I command you this Yom, so that it is well with you and with your children after you, and so that you prolong your Yomim on the land that Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you for all time. Then Masha, for eternity. Then Masha separated 3 cities beyond the Yardan toward the rising of the sun, for him who killed someone to flee there, he who kills his neighbor unintentionally without having hated him in the past, and might flee to one of these cities and live. So I'm going to skip that for now. Chapter 5. And Masha called all Yasharal and said to them, Hear, O Yasharal, the laws and the right rulings that I speak in your hearing this Yom, and you shall learn them and guard to do them. Yahuwah, our Elohim, made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahuwah did not make this covenant with our Rabbim, but with us, those who are here this Yom, all of us who are alive. Yahuwah spoke with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahuwah and you at that time to declare to you the word of Yahuwah. For you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go up the mountain, saying, I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. out of the house of bondage. You have no other mighty ones against my face. You do not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of what is in the Shamayim above, or what is in the Arats beneath, or what is in the Maim under the Arats. You do not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous Ad, visiting the wickedness of the Abim upon the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing kindness to thousands to those who will me and guard my commands. Who will me and guard my commands. You do not bring the name, the Sham of Yahuwah, your Elohim, to naught, for Yahuwah does not leave him unpunished who brings his name, his power, and authority to naught. Guard the Shabbat Yom to Kadash it as Yahuwah, your Elohim, commanded you. 6 Yomim you labor and shall do all your work, but the 7th Yom is a Shabbat of Yahuwah, your Elohim. You do not do any work, you nor your ban, nor your bat, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates, so that your male servant and your female servant rest as you do. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Natsarym, and that Yahuwah your Elohim brought you out from there by a strong hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore Yahuwah your Elohim commanded you to perform the Shabbat Yom. Respect your Abba and your Amma, as Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you, so that your Yomim are prolonged, and so that it is well with you on the land that Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. You do not murder, nor hate your neighbor in your love. You do not commit adultery, nor sexually lust insatiably to take someone sexually. You do not steal. You do not bear false witness against your neighbor. You do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor do you desire your neighbor's house, his field, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. These words Yahuwah spoke to all your congregation in the mountain from the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the dense cloud, with a loud voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone, and gave them to me. And it came to be, when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders, and said, See, Yahuwah our Elohim has shown us his esteem and his greatness, and and we have heard his voice from the midst of the fire. This Yom we have seen that Elohim speaks with man, and he lives. And now, why should we die? For this great fire is consuming us. If we hear the voice of Yahuwah our Elohim any more, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh who has heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking from the midst of the fire as we have and lived? You go near and hear all that Yahuwah our Elohim says, and speak to us all that Yahuwah our Elohim says to you, and we shall hear and do it. And Yahuwah heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me, and Yahuwah said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people that they have spoken, to you. They have done well in all that they have spoken. Oh, that they had such a love in them to revere me and guard all my commands always, so that it might be well with them and with their children, dur forever. Go, say to them, return to your tents, but you stand here by me, and let me speak to you all the commands and the laws and the right rulings that you are to teach them, and they shall do them in the land that I am giving them to possess. And you shall guard to do as Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you. Do not turn aside to the right or to the left. Walk in all the way that Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you. Walk in all the way that Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you, so that you live and it be well with you, and you shall prolong your Yomim in the land that you possess. Tabarim, Deuteronomy chapter 6. And this is the command, the laws, and right rulings that Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded to teach you to do in the land that you are passing over to possess, so that you revere Yahuwah your Elohim, to guard all his laws and his commands that I command you, and your bond and your grandbond, all the Yomim of your Chai, and that your Yomim be prolonged. And you shall hear, O Yasharal, and shall do, and shall guard to do, that it might be well with you, and that you increase greatly, as Yahuwah, Elohim of your Abim, has spoken to you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Yasharal, Yahuwah, Eloheinu, Yahuwah Achad, and you shall ahava Yahuwah your Elohim with all your love, and with all your nafash, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you this yom shall be in your love, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And when you shall write them on the door, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuwah your Elohim brings you into the land that he swore to your Abim, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to give you great and tub cities that you did not build, and houses filled with all kinds of tubs that you did not fill, and wells dug that you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees that you did not plant. And you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard lest you forget Yahuwah, who brought you out of the land of Natsarym from the house of bondage. Revere Yahuwah your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after other mighty ones, the mighty ones of the peoples who are all around you. For Yahuwah your Elohim is a jealous Al in your midst, lest the displeasure of Yahuwah your Elohim burn against you. Then he shall destroy you from the face of the Arats. Do not try Yahuwah your Elohim as you tried him in Massah. Diligently guard the commands of Yahuwah your Elohim, and his witnesses, and his laws that he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and tub in the eyes of Yahuwah, that it might be well with you, and you shall go in and possess the Tub land of where Yahuwah swore to your Abim, to drive out all your enemies from before you, as Yahuwah has spoken. When your bond asks you in time to come, saying, what is the meaning of the witnesses and the laws and the right rulings that Yahuwah our Elohim has commanded you? Then you shall say to your bond, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Mitzrayim, and Yahuwah brought us out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand, and Yahuwah sent signs and wonders, great and grievous, upon Mitzrayim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land of where he swore to our Rabbim. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these laws, to revere Yahuwah our Elohim for our Tub always, to keep us alive as it is this Yom, and it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahuwah our Elohim, as he has commanded us. Tabarim, chapter 7. When Yahuwah your Elohim brings you into the land that you go to possess, he shall also clear away multitude nations before you, the Chatim, and the Gargashim, and the Amorim, and the Canaanim, and the Parazim, and the Hawim, and the Yabusim, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahuwah your Elohim gives them over to you, you shall smite them and put them under the ban dedicated to destruction completely. Make no covenant with them, and show them no favor, and do not intermarry with them. You do not give your bat to his bond, and you do not take his bat for your bond, for he turns your banim away from following me to serve other mighty ones. Then the displeasure of Yahuwah shall burn against you and promptly destroy you. But this is what you do to them: break down their pillars, break down their altars and destroy their pillars, and cut down their sun poles, and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a Kodash people to Yahuwah your Elohim. Yahuwah your Elohim has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples on the face of the Arats. Yahuwah did not place his Ahava on you, nor choose you because you were more numerous than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples, but because of Yahuwah loving you, Ahava you, and because of him guarding the oath that he swore to your Abim, Yahuwah has brought you out with a strong hand, and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. And you shall know that Yahuwah, your Elohim, he is Elohim, the trustworthy Al, guarding covenant and kindness for 1,000 generations with those who ahava him, and those who guard his commandments, guarding covenant kindness for 1,000 generations with those who ahava him, and those who guard his commands, but repaying those who hate him to their face, to destroy them. He does not delay with him who hates him. He repays him to his face. And you shall guard the command and the laws and the right rulings that I command you this Yom to do them, And it shall be, because you hear these right rulings, and shall guard to do them, that Yahuwah your Elohim shall guard with you the covenant and the kindness that he swore to your Abim, and shall ahava you, and barak you, and increase you, and shall barak the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, your grain and your new wine, and your oil, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flock, in the land of where he swore to your Abim to give you. Baruch are you above all peoples. There is not going to be a barren man or a barren woman among you or among your high stock, and Yahuwah shall turn away from you all sickness, and put on you none of the evil diseases of Natsarym that you have known, but he shall put them on all those who hate you. Sorry, my phone keeps freezing, so I'm trying to guesstimate where. And you shall consume all the peoples whom Yahuwah your Elohim is delivering over to you. Your eyes shall not pardon them, and do not serve their mighty ones, for that is a snare to you. When you say in your lab, these nations are greater than I am unable to drive them out. Do not be afraid of them. Remember well what Yahuwah your Elohim did to Pharaoh and to all Mitzrayim, the great trials that your eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders, and the strong hand and the outstretched arm, by where Yahuwah your Elohim brought you out. Yahuwah your Elohim does so to all the peoples of whose presence you are afraid. And Yahuwah your Elohim also sends the hornet among them, until those who are left who hide themselves from you are destroyed. Do not be afraid of them, for Yahuwah your Elohim, the great and awesome Al, is in your midst. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall drive out those nations before you. Little by little you are not allowed to destroy them at once. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall drive out those nations before you little by little. You are not allowed to destroy them at once, lest the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. But Yahuwah your Elohim shall deliver them over to you, and destroy them with a great destruction until they are consumed. And he shall give their sovereigns into your hands, and you shall destroy their name from under the Shamayim. No one is going to be able to stand against you until you have destroyed the carved images of their mighty ones. You are to burn with fire their carved. If you have destroyed them, no one is going to be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. The carved images of their mighty ones you are to burn with fire. Do not covet the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it for yourself, lest you be snared by it, for it is an abomination to Yahuwah your Elohim. And do not bring an abomination into your house, lest you be accursed like it, utterly loathe it, and utterly hate it, for it is accursed. Shamot, Exodus chapter 23. Shamot, Exodus chapter 23. Do not bring a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be a malicious witness. Do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in a strife so as to turn aside after the multitude to pervert right ruling. And do not favor a poor man in his strife, simply for being poor. When you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall certainly return it to him. When you see the donkey of him who hates you lying under its burden, you shall refrain from leaving it to him. You shall certainly help him. Do not turn aside the right ruling of your poor in his strife. Keep yourself far from a false matter, and do not kill the innocent and the righteous, for I do not declare the wicked right. And do not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the seeing one, and twists the words of the righteous. And do not oppress the sojourner, for as you yourselves know the high of a sojourner, because you were sojourners in the land of Natsarym. And for 6 yomim you are to, and for 6 shanim you are to sow your land, and shall gather its increase. But the 7th shana you are to let it rest, and shall leave it, and the poor of your people shall eat, and what they leave, the beasts of the field eat. Do the same with your vineyard and your olive yard. 6 yomim you are to do your work, and on the 7th yom you rest, in order that your ox and your donkey might rest, and the bond of your female servant and the sojourner be refreshed. And in all that I had said to you, take heed, and make no mention of the name of other mighty ones. Let it not be heard from your mouth. 3 times in the year you are to celebrate a Chag Moed, an appointed festival to me. Guard the festival, the Chag Moed of Matzahut, unleavened bread. 7 yomim you eat Matzahut, unleavened bread, as I commanded you, at the time appointed, at the time in the month of Abib, that is the Pasach, the Passover, for in it you came out of Matzrayim, and you do not appear before me empty-handed. And the Chag Moed of the harvest, the first fruits of the wheat. All this you can see what I'm adding in there. The expounding is found in um, Exodus chapter 34, I believe. And the Chag Moed festival of the harvest, the first fruits of the wheat of your labors at the time of Shabua'u, that you have sown in the field. And the festival of the harvest of the wheat, known as Shabua'u, the first fruit of the wheat of your labors, that you have sown in the field. And the Chag Moed, festival, the appointed festival of the ingathering at Sakut, at the outgoing of the year, when you have gathered in the fruit of your labors from the field. These 3 times in the year all your males are to appear before the Adon Yahuwah. Do not offer the blood of my slaughtering with leavened bread, and the fat of my festival shall not remain until Bakar. This is referring to the Pasach, the Passover again. Bring the first of the first fruits of your land into the house of Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. See, I am sending a malach before you to guard you in the way and to bring you into the place that I have prepared. Be on guard before him and obey his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he is not going to pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if you diligently obey his voice and shall do all that I speak, then I shall be an enemy to your enemies and a distresser to those who distress you. For my malach shall go before you and shall bring you into the Amorim and the Chatim and the Parazim and the Canaanim and the Hawim and the Yabusim, and I shall cut them off. Do not bow down to their mighty ones, nor serve them, nor do according to their works, but without fail overthrow them, and without fail break down their pillars, and you shall serve Yahuwah your Elohim, and he shall barach your bread and your ma'im, and I shall remove sickness from your midst. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I shall fill the number of your yomim. I shall send my fear before you and cause confusion among all the people to whom you come, and make all your enemies turn their backs to you. Uyakra, chapter 19. And Yahuwah spoke to Masha, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the children of Yasharal, and say to them, Be Kodash, for I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am Kodash. Each one of you should revere his Amma and his Abba, and guard my Shabbatot. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do not turn to idols, and do not make for yourselves molded mighty ones. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. And when you bring a shalom offering to Yahuwah, bring it for your acceptance. It is eaten the same yom you slaughter it, and on the next yom, and that what is left on the third yom is burned with fire. So if it is eaten at all on the third yom, it is abominable, it is not accepted, and he who eats it bears his wickedness, because he has profaned the Kadash offering of Yahuwah, and that being shall be cut off from his people. And when you reap the harvest of your land, do not completely reap the corners of your field, or gather the gleanings of your harvest, and do not glean your vineyard, or gather every grape of your vineyard. Leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do not steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another, and do not swear falsely by my name, and so profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. Do not oppress your neighbor, and do not rob the wages of him who is hired. It is not to remain with you all night until Bakar. Do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block before the blind, but revere your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. Do not do no unrighteousness in right ruling. Do not be partial to the poor or favor the face of the great, but rightly rule your neighbors in righteousness. Do not go slandering among your people. Do not stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahuwah. Do not hate your ach in your love. Reprove your neighbor for certain, and bear no sin because of him. Do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, and you shall ahaba your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahuwah. Guard my laws. Do not let your livestock mate with another kind. Do not sow your field with mixed seed, and do not put a garment woven of two sorts of thread upon you. Skip to 26. Do not eat with the blood. Do not practice divination or magic. Do not round the corner of your head, nor destroy the corner of your beard. And do not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor put tattoo marks on you. I am Yahuwah. Do not profane your bat by making her a whore, so that the land does not whore, and the land becomes filled with wickedness. Guard my Shabbatot, and reverence my Makdash. I am Yahuwah. Do not turn to mediums, and do not seek after spiritists to be defiled by them. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Rise up before the gray-headed, and you shall favor the face of an old man, and shall revere your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. And when a stranger sojourns with you in your land, do not oppress him. Let the stranger who dwells among you be to you as the native among you, and you shall ahaba him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Natsarym. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do no unrighteousness in right ruling, in measurement of length in weight or in measuring liquids. Have right scales, right weights, a right afa, and a right hin. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Natsarym, and you shall guard all my laws and all my right rulings and do them. I am Yahuwah. Tabarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now, Yasharal, what is Yahuwah, your Elohim, asking of you, but to revere Yahuwah, your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to ahaba him, and to serve Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your lab and with all your nafash, to guard the commands of Yahuwah and his laws that I command you this yom for your tur. Did you catch that, by the way? And now, Yasharal, what is Yahuwah, your Elohim, asking of you, but to revere Yahuwah, your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to ahaba him, and to serve Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your love and with all your nafash, to guard the commands of Yahuwah and his laws that I command you this yom for your tur. See, the Shamaim and the Shamaim of Shamaim belong to Yahuwah, your Elohim. Also the Arats with all that is in it. Yahuwah delighted only in your Abim to ahava them, and he chose their seed after them. You above all peoples, as it is this yom, and you shall circumcise the foreskin of your lab, and harden your neck no more. For Yahuwah your Elohim is Elohim of mighty ones, and Adan of Adanim, and the great Al, mighty and awesome Al Shaddai, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe. He executes right ruling for the abalis and the widow, and ahaba the stranger, giving him food and a garment. And you shall ahaba the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Natsarym. Revere Yahuwah, your Elohim, serve him, and cling to him, and swear by his name. He is your praise, and he is your Elohim, who has done for you these great and awesome deeds that your eyes have seen. Your Abim went down to Natsarym with 70 Nafashim, and now Yahuwah, your Elohim, has made you as numerous as the Kukabim of the Shamaim. Chapter 11. And you shall ahaba Yahuwah, your Elohim, and guard his charge, even his laws. You shall ahaba Yahuwah, your Elohim, and guard his charge, even his laws, and his right rulings, and his commands always. Skipping to verse 13. And it shall be that if you diligently obey my commands, that I command you this yom to ahaba Yahuwah, your Elohim, and to serve him with all your love and with all your nafash, then I shall give you the rain for your land in its season, the early rain and the latter rain, and you shall gather in your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and I shall give grass in your fields for your high stock, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Guard yourselves, lest your lap be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other mighty ones and bow down to them. Then the displeasure of Yahuwah shall burn against you, and he shall shut up the Shamayim, and there be no rain, and the land not give its increase. And you shall perish quickly from the Tub land that Yahuwah is giving you. And you shall lay up these words of mine in your lab and in your nafashim, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your Yomim and the Yomim of your children are increased on the land of where Yahuwah swore to your Abim to give them, as the Yomim of the Shamaim on Arat. For if you diligently guard all these commands that I command you to do it, to Ahava Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to cling to him. Oh. For if you diligently guard all these commands to that I command you to do it, to Ahava Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways and to cling to him, then Yahuwah shall drive out all these nations before you, and you shall dispossess greater and stronger nations than you. Every place on where the sole of your foot treads is yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Parat, even to the western sea is your border. No man shall stand against you. Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall put the dread of you and the fear of you upon all the land where you tread, as he has spoken to you. See, I am putting before you this Yom a baraka and a curse. The baraka, when you obey the commands of Yahuwah, your Elohim, that I command you this Yom, and the curse, if you do not obey the commands of Yahuwah, your Elohim, but turn aside from the way that I command you this Yom, to go after other mighty ones that you have not known. And it shall be when Yahuwah your Elohim has brought you into the land that you go to possess, that you shall put the baraka on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal. Tabarim chapter 30. And it shall be, when all these words come upon you, the baraka and the curse that I have put before you, and you shall bring them back to your lab, among all the goyim where Yahuwah your Elohim drives you, and shall turn back to Yahuwah your Elohim, and obey his voice, according to all that I command you this Yom, with all your love, and with all your nafash, and with all your children. You and all your, I command you this Yom, with all your love, and with all your nafash, you and your children. Then Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall turn back your captivity, and shall have compassion on you, and he shall turn back and gather you from all the peoples where your Elohim has scattered you. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under the Shamaim, from there Yahuwah, your Elohim, gathers you, and from there he takes you, and Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall bring you to the land that your Abim possessed, and you shall possess it, and he shall do good to you, and increase you more than your Abim. And Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall circumcise your lab and the lab of your seed to Ahava Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your lab and with all your nafash, so that you might live. And Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall put all these curses on your enemies, and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. And you shall turn back and obey the voice of Yahuwah, and do all his commands that I command you this Yom. And Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall make you have excess in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your high stock, and in the fruit of your ground for Tub. For Yahuwah turns back to rejoice over you for Tub, as he rejoiced over your Abim, if you obey the voice of Yahuwah, your Elohim, to guard his commands and his laws that are written in this book of the Torah. If you turn back to Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your love and with all your nafash, for this command that I am commanding you this yom, it is not too hard for you, nor is it far off. It is not in the Shamayim to say, who shall ascend into the Shamayim for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it? Nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it? For the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your lap, to do it. See, I have put before you this Yom, Chai and Tub, and death and evil, in that I am commanding you this Yom to Ahava Yahuwah your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to guard his commands, and his laws, and his right rulings, and you shall live and increase, and Yahuwah your Elohim shall barak you in the land that you go to possess. But if your lot turns away, and you do not obey, and shall be drawn away, and shall bow down to other mighty ones and serve them, I have declared to you this Yom that you shall certainly perish. You shall not prolong your Yomim in the land that you are passing over the Yardan to enter and possess. I have called the Shamayim and the Arats as witnesses this Yom against you. I have put before you Chai and death, and Baraka and the curse. Therefore you shall choose Chai, so that you live, both you and your seed, to Ahava Yahuwah your Elohim, to obey his voice, and to cling to him, for he is your Chai, and the length of your Yomim, to dwell in the land that Yahuwah swore to your Abim, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to give them. Mattatyahu 19:16. Mattatyahu chapter 19, verse 16. And see, one came and said to him, Dub teacher, what Dub? This is the accurate way. And see, one came and said to him, Teacher, what Dub shall I do to have everlasting Chai? And Yahusha responded to him, saying, Why do you ask me about what is Dub? There is one who is Dub if you want to enter into Chai. Guard the commands. He said to him, What commands? And Yahusha said, You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness. Respect your Abba and your Amma, and you shall ahaba your neighbor as yourself. The young man said to him, All these I have watched over from my youth. What do I still lack? Yahusha said to him, If you want to be perfect, go, sell what you have, and give to the poor, and you shall have treasure in the Shamayim. And come, follow me. And when the young man heard the word, he went away sad, because he had multitude possessions. He had numerous possessions. And Yahusha said to his Talmudim, Truly I say to you, that it is hard for a rich man to enter into the reign of the Shamayim. And again I say to you, it is easier for a rope to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the reign of Elohim. And when his Talmudim heard it, they were very astonished, saying, Who then is able to be saved? And looking intently, Yahusha said to them, With men this is impossible, but with Elohim all is possible. Then Kapha, answering, said to him, See, we have left all and followed you. What then shall we have? And Yahusha said to them, Truly I say to you, when the Ban of Adam sits on the throne of his esteem, you who have followed me in the restoration shall also sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharah. And everyone who has left houses, or Achim, or Akotim, or Abba, or Amma, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting high. But multitudes who are first shall be last, and the last first. Lucas chapter 10, verse 25. And see, a certain one learned in the Torah stood up trying him, and saying, Rabbi, what shall I do to inherit everlasting high? And he said to him, What has been written in the Torah? How do you read it? And he answered and said, You shall wahaba Yahuwah your Elohim with all your love, and with all your nafash, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he said to him, You have answered rightly. Do this, and you shall live. But he, wanting to declare himself righteous, said to Yahusha, And who is my neighbor? And replying, Yahusha said, A certain man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among robbers, who both stripping and beating him, went away, leaving him half dead. And by a coincidence, a certain Kahan was going down that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise, a Lewi also, when he came to the place, and seeing, passed by on the other side. But a certain Shumaruni journey came upon him, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and pouring out wine. And having placed him on his own beast, he brought him to an inn, and looked after him. And going out on the next yom, he took out 2 pieces of silver, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, Look after him, and whatever more you spend, I shall repay you when I return. Who then of these 3 do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the robbers? And he said, He who showed compassion on him. Then Yahusha said to him, Go and do likewise. And it came to be, as they went, that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mariam, who also sat at the feet of Yahusha, and heard his word. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and coming up, she said, Adani, are you not concerned that my sister, my Ahuti has left me to serve alone? Speak to her then to help me. And Yahusha answering said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about much, but only one is necessary, and Mariam has chosen the due portion, that shall not be taken away from her. Matthew chapter 5. But when he saw the crowds, he went up on a mountain, and when he was seated, his Talmudim came to him, and having opened his mouth, he was teaching them, saying, now this is all for the sake of Yahusha. Baruch are the poor in Ruach, in Nafash and Ruach, because theirs is the reign of the Shamayim. Poor because they've drained and exhausted themselves for Yahusha's name. Baruch are those who mourn, because they shall be comforted. Baruch favored are the meek, because they shall inherit the Arats. Baruch are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, because they shall be filled. These are all these who did the work, who did the labor, and they're tired, they're hungry, they're mourning, didn't see the change. Baruch are the compassionate, because they shall obtain compassion. Baruch favored and content are the clean in love, because they shall see Elohim. Baruch are the shalom makers, because they shall be called Banim of Elohim. Baruch are those persecuted for righteousness' sake, because theirs is the reign of the Shamayim. Baruch are you when they reproach you and persecute you, and falsely say every wicked word against you for my name's sake. Rejoice and be glad, because your reward in the Shamayim is great. For in this way they persecuted the Nabim who were before you. You are the salt of the Arats, but if the salt becomes tasteless, how shall it be seasoned? For it is no longer of any use, but to be thrown out and to be trodden down by men. You are the light of the world. It is impossible for a city to be hidden on a mountain, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it shines to all those in the house. Let your light so shine before men, so that they see your righteous works of Torah and praise your Abba who is in the Shamayim. For what is light? Proverbs, Mashli, chapter 6, verse 23. For the command is a lamp, and the Torah a light. For the command is a lamp, and the Torah a light, and reproofs of discipline a way of high. Reproofs of discipline a way of high. To guard you against an evil woman. That's Proverbs Mashli 6:23. Let your light, your Torah keeping, so shine before men, so that they see your righteous works of Torah and praise your Abba who is in the Shamayim. Do not think that I came to destroy the Torah or the Nabim. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill, to complete, to raise it to its fullest, to the fullness of its standard. For truly I say to you, till the Shamayim and the Arats pass away, one yad or one tittle shall by no means pass from the Torah till all be done. For truly I say to you, till the Shamayim and the Arats pass away, has not passed away, one yad or one tittle then shall no means pass from the Torah till all be done. That means Shamayim and Arats would even have to pass away first to think that. Whoever then breaks one of the least of these commands, what commands? The Torah and the Nabim, and teaches men so, shall be called least in the reign of the Shamayim. But whoever does and teaches them the least commands, he shall be called great in the reign of the Shamayim, shall be great in Abba Yahuwah's eyes. For I say to you, that unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the parashim, you shall by no means enter into the reign of the Shamayim. You heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you, that whoever is wroth with his ach without a cause shall be liable to judgment, and whoever says to his ach raka shall be liable to the Sanhedrin. Therefore whoever says you fool shall be liable to the fires of Gehenna. If then you bring your gift to the slaughter table, and there remember that your ach holds whatever against you, leave your gift there before the slaughter table, and go. First make shalom with your ach, and then come and offer your gift. Be well minded with your opponent promptly while you are on the way with him, lest your opponent deliver you to the judge, and the judge to the officer, and you be thrown into prison. Truly I say to you, you shall by no means get out of there till you have paid the last quarter. You heard that it was said to those of old, you heard that it was written of old, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone looking at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his lap. And if your right eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it away from you. For it is better for you that one of your members perish than for your entire body to be thrown into Gehenna. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away from you. For it is better for you that one of your members perish than for your entire body to be thrown into Gehenna. And it has been written, whoever puts away his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that whoever puts away his wife, except for the matter of whoring, makes her commit adultery, and whoever marries a woman who has been put away without a certificate of divorce commits adultery. Again, you heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to Yahuwah. But I say to you, do not swear falsely at all, neither by the Shamaim, because it is Allahim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Yarashalam, for it is the city of the great sovereign, nor swear by your head, because you are not able to make one hair white or black. You know what? Just simply let your word Khan be Khan and your La be La. How's that? And what goes beyond these is from the wicked one, using swearing by these things, scheming to get what you want out of desperation. If you swear by these things, and you put yourself in a very bad position with Yah. You heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist the wicked, but whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. And he who wants to sue you and take away your inner garment, let him have your outer garment as well. And whoever compels you to go 1,000,000, go with him too. Give to him who asks of you, and from him who wants to borrow from you, do not turn away. You heard that it was said, you, you shall ahava your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I reestablish the Torah, I affirm it by saying to you, ahava your enemies, as it's written in Torah, barak those cursing you, do good to those hating you, and palal for those insulting you and persecuting you, so that you become banim of your Abba in the Shamaim, because he makes his sun rise on the wicked and on the dul, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. For if you ahaba those ahaba in you, what reward have you? Are the tax collectors and sinners not doing the same too? And if you greet your achim only, what do you do more? Are the tax collectors and sinners not doing so too? Therefore, be perfect, as your Abba in the Shamaim is Tamim, is perfect. John, Yahukanan, chapter 14. Let not your love be troubled. Believe, trust, and obey in Yahuwah. Believe, trust, and obey also in me. In my Abba's house are multitude realms, and if not, I would have told you. I go to prepare a realm for you. And if I go and prepare a realm for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, you might be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. Thomas said to him, Adani, we do not know where you are going, and how are we able to know the way? Yahusha said to him, I am the way and the truth and the Chai. No one comes to the Abba except through me. I am the way, the truth, and the Chai. No one comes through the Abba except through me. Except through me. Say Yahusha. I am the way, the truth, and the Chai. No one comes through the Abba except through me. Say it, Yahusha. Say Yahusha. The way, the truth, and the Chai. No one comes through the Abba except through me. Through me. Tahalim, Psalms 119. Ah, Baruch are the perfect, the Tamim in the way, who walk in the Torah of Yahuwah. Baruch are those who observe his witnesses. Again, Tahalim, Psalms 119, verse 1. Ah, Baruch are the perfect in the way. What is the way? Who walk in the Torah of Yahuwah. Tahalim, Psalms 119, 142. Your righteousness is righteousness, Tur, forever, and your Torah is truth. Yahusha said, I am the way, the Torah is the way, the Torah is truth. Yahusha is truth. Yahusha is the Torah. Yahusha said, I am the way, the truth, and the Chai. Tahalim, Psalms 119, 92. If your Torah had not been my delight, I would have perished in my affliction. Let me never forget your orders, your commands, for by them you have given me Chai. Yahusha is Chai. Yahusha is the orders, the Torah that brings the light. Without them, we would have perished in our afflictions. Barak Yahuwah Yahusha, I am yours, save me, for I have sought your orders. The wicked have waited for me to destroy me. I understand your witnesses. I have seen an end of all perfection. Your command is exceedingly broad. Ma, oh, how I love your Torah. It is my study all yom long. Your commands make me wiser than my enemies, for it is ever before me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for your witnesses are my study. I understand more than the aged, for I have observed your orders. I have restrained my feet from every evil way. Hallelujah. And this said Yahusha. Yahusha said, I am the way, the truth, and the Chai. No one comes to the Abba except through me, the Torah, made flesh. If you had known me, you would have known my Abba too. From now on, you know him and have seen. Philippus said to him, Adani, show us the Abba, and it is enough for us. Yahusha said to him, have I been with you so long, and you have not known me, Philippus? He who has seen me has seen the Abba. And how do you say, show us the Abba? Do you not believe, trust, and obey that I am in the Abba, and the Abba is in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak from myself, but the Abba who stays in me does his works. Believe me that I am in the Abba, and the Abba in me. Otherwise, believe, trust, and obey me because of the works themselves. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes, trusts, and obeys in me, the works that I do, he shall do also, and greater than these he shall do, because I go to my Abba. And whatever you ask in my name according to my plan, that I shall do, in order that the Abba might be esteemed in the bond. If you ask whatever in my name, power, and authority, according to my plan, I shall do it. If you ahaba me, you shall guard my commands, and I shall ask the Abba, and he shall give you another helper to stay with you, Dur, the Ruach of the truth, whom the world is unable to receive, because it does not see him or know him. But you know him, for he stays with you and shall be in you. I shall not leave you orphans, I am coming to you. Verse 21. He who possesses my commands and guards them, it is he who ahabas me, and he who ahabas me shall be ahabad by my Abba, and I shall ahaba him, and manifest myself to him. Yahusha, verse 23, Yahusha answered him, if anyone ahabas me, he shall guard my word, and my Abba shall ahaba him, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. Again, Yahusha answered him, if anyone ahaba me, he shall guard my word, my laws, and my Abba shall ahaba him as well, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. He who does not ahaba me does not guard my words, my laws, and the word that you hear is not mine, but of the Abba who sent me. These I have spoken to you while still with you. But the Helper, the Ruach HaKodesh, who the Abba shall send in my name, power, and authority, he shall teach you all and remind you of all that I said to you. Yehukanan 15. I am the true vine, and my Abba is the gardener. Every branch in me that bears no fruit he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit he prunes, so that it bears more fruit. You are already clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Stay in me, and I in you. As the branch is unable to bear fruit of itself unless it stays in the vine, so neither you unless you stay in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who stays in me, and I in him, he bears much fruit, because without me you are unable to do naught. Let's see if I still have that. Hosea, chapter 14. What more has Ephraim to do with idols? It is I who answer and look after him. What more has Ephraim to do with idols? It is I who answer and look after him. I am like a garden cypress tree. Your fruit comes from me. Who is wise and understands these, discerning and knows them? For the ways of Yahuwah are straight, and the righteous walk in them, but the transgressors stumble in them. I am like a green cypress tree, says Yahuwah. Your fruit comes from me. He who stays in me and I in him, he bears much fruit. Because without me you are unable to do naught. Your fruit comes from me, says Yahuwah. If anyone does not stay in me, he is thrown away as a branch and dries up, and they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you stay in me, and my words stay in you, you shall ask whatever you want. And if you're staying in him according to the desire of Yahuwah, the plan, and it shall be done for you. In this my Abba is esteemed, that you bear much fruit, and you shall be my Talmudim. Tahalim, Psalms 1, Tahalim 1. Baruch is the man who shall not walk in the counsel of the wicked, and shall not stand in the path of sinners, and shall not sit in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the Torah of Yahuwah, and he meditates in his Torah day and night, Yom and Laila. For he shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of Maim, that yields its fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither, and whatever he does prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like the chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked shall not sit, therefore the wicked shall not rise in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahuwah knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked comes to naught. If anyone does not stay in me, he is thrown away as a branch and dries up. And they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you stay in me, and my words stay in you, you shall ask whatever you want, and it shall be done for you. In this my Abba is esteemed, that you bear much fruit, and you shall be my Talmudim. As the Abba has Ahaba me, I have also Ahaba you. Stay in my Ahaba. If you guard my commands, you shall stay in my Ahaba. What commands? Even as I have guarded my Abba's commands. The Torah commands, the Torah commands. Even as I have guarded my Abba's commands, and stay in his Ahaba. These I have spoken to you, so that my joy might be in you, and that your joy might be fulfilled, complete, filled to the fullest. This is my command, that you ahaba one another, as I have ahaba you. No one has greater ahaba than this, that one should lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends, if you do whatever I command you. First Yahukanan, chapter 2, verse 15. Do not ahava the world, nor that what is in the world. If anyone ahabas the world, the ahaba of the Abba is not in him, because all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of Chai, is not of the Abba, but is of the world. And the world passes away, and the lust of it, but the one doing the desire of Elohim remains dur, forever. Yahukanan, 1 Yahukanan, chapter 3. See what Ahaba the Abba has given us, that we should be called children of Elohim. For this reason the world does not know us, because it did not know him. Loved ones, now we are children of Elohim, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be. But we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him and be even as he is. And everyone having this expectation in him cleanses himself as he is clean. Everyone doing sin, continuing to do sin, also does lawlessness, breaking the Torah, is without the Torah, and sin is Torahlessness. And you know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him there is no sin. Everyone staying in him does not sin. Everyone continuing to sin has neither seen him nor known him. Little children, let no one lead you astray. The one doing righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. The one continuing to sin is of the devil, because the devil has sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the bond of Yahuwah was manifested, to destroy the works of the devil. Everyone having been born of Elohim does not sin, because his seed stays in him, and he is powerless, having no desire to sin, because he has been born of Elohim. In this the children of Elohim and the children of the devil are manifest. Everyone not doing righteousness is not of Elohim, neither the one not ahabain his ach, because this is the message that you heard from the beginning, Barashit, that we should ahaba one another, not as Cain, who was of the wicked one and killed his ach. And why did he kill him? Because his works were righteous, because his works were wicked, forgive me, but those of his ach were righteous. Do not marvel, my achim, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed out of death into chai, because we ahaba the achim, those in the body of Yahusha. The one not ahabaing his ach stays in death. First Yehukanan, John, chapter 5. Everyone who believes, trusts, and obeys that Yahusha is Hamashiach has been born of Elohim, and everyone who ahabas the one bringing forth Yahuwah also ahabas the one having been born of him, Yahusha. By this we know that we ahaba the children of Elohim when we ahaba Yahuwah and guard his commands. For this is the ahaba for Yahuwah, that we guard his commands. This is the ahaba for Yahuwah, that we guard his Torah commands, and his Torah commands are not heavy, because everyone having been born of Elohim overcomes the world, and this is the overcoming that has overcome the world, our empowered belief, trust that leads to obedience. Who is the one who overcomes the world but he who believes, trusts, and obeys that Yahusha is the bond of Yahuwah? 17. All unrighteousness is sin, and there is a sin not unto death. There is sin not unto death. We know that everyone having been born of Elohim does not sin, does not continue to sin, but the one having been born of Elohim guards himself, and the wicked one does not move him. We know that we are of Elohim, and all the world lies in the sway of the wicked one. And we know that the bond of Yahuwah has come and has given us an understanding, so that we might know the true one, and we are in the true one, in his bond, Yahusha HaMashiach. This is the true Elohim and everlasting Chai. Little children, keep yourselves from idols like JC. Aman. Word of Yahuwah Yahusha. This concludes part 1 of the Natsarym Shabat reading with the command to Ahava Yahuwah, Alahainu Adonai, with our mind, love, being, and strength, and to Ahava our neighbor as ourselves. We shall now commence into part 2 with the command to remember the Shabbat Yom, to observe it, to keep it Kadash. Allah Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah. Natsarym Shabbat reading part 2 with the command to remember the Shabbat Yom, to guard it, to keep it Kadash. Remember the Shabbat Yom, to guard and observe it, to keep it Kadash. Shamot, Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Shabbat Yom, to Kadash it. 6 Yomim you labor and shall do all your work, but the 7th Yom is the Shabbat of Yahuwah, your Elohim. You do not do any work, you, nor your bond, nor your bat, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 Yomim Yahuwah made the Shamayim and the Arats and the sea and all that is in them, and rested the 7th Yom. Therefore, Yahuwah, Baruch the Shabbat Yom and Kadash it. Shamut, Exodus, Shamut, chapter 31, verse 12. And Yahuwah spoke to Masha, saying, And you speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, My Shabbatut you are to guard by all means, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, to know that I, Yahuwah, Kadash you, and you shall guard the Shabbat, for it is Kadash to you. Everyone who profanes it shall certainly be put to death, for anyone who does work on it, that being shall be cut off from among his people. 6 Yomim work is done, and on the seventh is a Shabbat of rest, Kadash to Yahuwah. Everyone doing work on the Shabbat Yom shall certainly be put to death at the day of judgment. And the children of Yasharal, for those who are covenanted with Yahuwah, and the children of Yasharal shall guard the Shabbat, to perform the Shabbat throughout their generations, as an everlasting covenant between me and the children of Yasharal. It is a sign forever, Dur. For in 6 Yomim Yahuwah made the Shamayim and the Arats, and on the seventh Yom he rested and was refreshed. And when he had ended speaking with him on Mount Sinai, he gave Masha 2 tablets of the witness, tablets of sapphire stone, written with the finger of Elohim. Yirmiyahu, chapter 17, verse 5. Thus said Yahuwah, Cursed is the Adam who trusts in Adam, and makes flesh his arm, and whose lap turns away from Yahuwah. For he shall be like a shrub in the desert, and not see when dew comes, and shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, a salt land that is not inhabited. Baruch is the Adam who trusts in Yahuwah, and whose trust is Yahuwah. For he shall be like a tree planted by the Mayim, that spreads out its roots by the river, and does not see when heat comes, and his leaf shall be green. And in the year of drought he is not anxious, nor does he cease from yielding fruit. The lob is crooked above all, and desperately sick. Who shall know it? I, Yahuwah, search the lob. I try the kidneys, and give every Adam according to his ways, according to the fruit of his deeds. As a partridge that broots but does not hatch, so is he who gets riches, but not by right. It leaves him in the midst of his Yomim, and at his end he is a fool. An esteemed throne, exalted from the beginning, is the place of our Makdash. O Yahuwah, the expectation of Yasharal. All who forsake you are put to shame. Those who depart from me shall be written in the Arats, because they have forsaken Yahuwah, the fountain of living Ma'im. Heal me, O Yahuwah, so that I am healed. Save me, so that I am saved, for you are my praise. See, they say to me, Where is the word of Yahuwah? Let it come now. And I have not run away from being a shepherd who follows you, nor have I longed for the woeful Yom. You yourself have known that what came out of my lips was before you. Do not be a ruin to me. You are my shelter in the Yom of evil. Let those who persecute me be put to shame. but do not let me be put to shame. Let them be broken, but do not let me be broken. Bring on them the yom of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. Thus Yahuwah said to me, Go and stand in the gate of the children of the people, by where the sovereigns of Yahudah come in, and by where they go out, and in all the gates of Jerusalem. And you shall say to them, Hear the word of Yahuwah, you sovereigns of Yahudah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, who enter by these gates. Thus said Yahuwah, Guard yourselves, and bear no burden on the Shabbat Yom, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem, nor take a burden out of your houses on the Shabbat Yom, nor do any work, and you shall kadosh the Shabbat Yom, as I commanded your Abim. But they did not obey or incline their ear, and they made their neck stiff, not to hear and not to receive instruction. And it shall be, if you diligently obey me, declares Yahuwah, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Shabbat Yom, and Kadash the Shabbat Yom, to do no work in it. Then sovereigns and heads sitting on the throne of Dawood shall enter in through the gates of this city, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their heads, the men of Yehudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And this city shall be inhabited dur, for they shall come from the cities of Yehudah and from the places around Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the low country, from the mountains, and from the Nagab, bringing burnt offerings and slaughterings, grain offerings and incense, bringing offerings of praise to the house of Yahuwah. But if you do not obey me to kadosh the Shabbat Yom, and not to bear a burden when entering the gates of Jerusalem on the Shabbat Yom, then I shall kindle a fire in its gates, and it shall consume the palaces of Jerusalem, and not be quenched. Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah 6:16. Thus said Yahuwah, stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where the true way is, the righteous way is, and walk in it, and find the Sabbath rest for yourselves. But they said, We do not walk. And I raised up watchmen over you. Listen to the sound of the ram's horn, the shofar. But they said, We do not listen. Therefore hear, you nations, and know, O congregation, what is upon them. Hear, O Arats, see, I am bringing evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not listened to my words, nor my Torah, and they rejected it. Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 15. For thus said the Adon Yahuwah, the Kadash one of Yasharal, in returning and rest you are saved. In stillness and trust is your strength, but you would not. Yeshayahu, Isaiah 32. Verse 9. Rise up, you women who are at ease. Hear my voice, you complacent daughters. Patim, listen to my speech. In little more than a year you shall be troubled, you complacent women. For the grape harvest shall fail, the ingathering shall not come. Tremble, you women who are at ease. Be troubled, you complacent ones. Strip yourselves and make yourselves bare, and gird sackcloth on your waist. Lament upon the breasts, for the pleasant fields, for the fruit-bearing vine, the righteous. For weeds and thorn bushes, the wicked, come up over the ground of my people, indeed over all the house of joy, the city of revelry. For the palace is abandoned, and the crowded city deserted. Hill and watchtowers serve as caves forever, a joy of wild donkeys, a pasture of flocks, until the Ruach is poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness shall become garden land, and the garden land be reckoned as a forest. Then right ruling shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the garden land. The work of righteousness shall be peace, shalom, and the service of righteousness be rest and safety forever. Dur. And my people shall dwell in a home of shalom and in safe dwellings and in undisturbed resting places. Even when hail shall fall, felling the forest, and the city be brought low in humiliation. Baruch are you who sow beside all Ma'im, who send out the foot of the ox and the donkey, for the labor, for the harvest is plenty, but the labors are few. Yashayahu, chapter 4. In that Yom, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we shall eat our own food and wear our own clothes. Only let us not be called by your name to take away our reproach. And in that Yom 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we shall eat our own food and wear our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. In that Yom the branch of Yahuwah shall be splendid and esteemed, and the fruit of the Arats shall be excellent and comely for the escaped ones of Yasharal. And it shall be that he who is left in Sion and he who remains in Yerushalayim is called Kodash, everyone who is written among the living in Yerushalayim, when Yahuwah has washed away the filth of the Batim of Sion and rinsed away the blood of Yerushalayim from her midst by a Ruach of judgment and by the Ruach of burning. Then Yahuwah shall create above every dwelling place on Mount Sion and above her congregations a cloud and a smoke by Yom and the shining of a flaming fire by Laila. For over all the steam shall be a covering and a booth for shade in the Yom time from the heat, for a place of refuge and for a shelter from storm and rain. Yashayahu, Isaiah chapter 12. And in that Yom you shall say, I Torata Yahuwah, though you were enraged with me, your displeasure has turned back, and you have comforted me. See, Al is my deliverance. I trust and am not afraid, for Yahuwah is my strength and my song, and he has become my deliverance. And you shall draw Ma'im with joy, Samcha, from the fountains of deliverance. And in that Yom you shall say, praise Yahuwah, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples, make mention that his name is exalted. Sing to Yahuwah, for he has done excellently. This is known in all the Arats. Cry aloud and shout, O inhabitants of Sion, for great is the Kadash one of Yasharal in your midst. Chapter 14. For Yahuwah has compassion on Yaakov, and shall again choose Yasharal, and give them rest in their own land, and the strangers shall join them, and they shall cling to the house of Yaakov, and people shall take them and bring them to their own place, and the house of Yasharal shall possess them for servants and female servants in the land of Yahuwah, and they shall make captives of their captors, and rule over their oppressors. And it shall be in the Yom Yahuwah, and it shall be in the Yom Yahuwah gives you rest from your sorrow and from your trouble and the hard service, and where you were made to serve, that you shall take up this proverb against the sovereign of the bee, and say, How the oppressor has ceased, the gold gatherer ceased. Yahuwah has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with ceaseless blows, he who ruled the Gentiles to goyim in displeasure, is persecuted, and no one restrains. All the Arats is at rest, and at shalom, and they shall break forth into singing. Tahalim Psalms 94. Verse 12. Baruch is the Adam you discipline, O Yah, and instruct out of your Torah, to give him rest from the yomim of evil, until the pit is dug for the wicked. For Yahuwah does not leave his people. Barak Yahuwah Yahusha. Yeshayahu 56. Thus said Yahuwah, guard right ruling, and do righteousness, for near is my deliverance to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Baruch is the Adam who does this, and the bond of Adam who lays hold on it, guarding the Shabat, lest he profane it, and guarding his hand from doing any evil. And let not the bond of the foreigner who has joined himself to Yahuwah speak, saying, Yahuwah has certainly separated me from his people. Nor let the eunuch say, Look, I am a dry tree. For thus said Yahuwah to the eunuchs who guard my Shabbatut, and have chosen what pleases me, and hold fast to my covenant. To them I shall give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of the Banim and Batim. Name is remembrance. I give them an everlasting name that is not cut off. Also the Banim and the foreigner who join themselves to Yahuwah to serve him, and to Ahaba the name of Yahuwah to be his servants. All who guard the Shabbat and not profane it, and hold fast to my covenant, them I shall bring to my Kadash mountain, and let them rejoice in my house of supplication and meditation. Their burnt offerings and their slaughterings are accepted on my slaughter table. For my house is called a house of supplication and meditation for all the peoples. The Adon Yahuwah, who gathers the outcasts of Yasharal, declares, I still gather to him besides those who are gathered to him. Word of Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahusha. Habarim, Hebrews chapter 4. Therefore, since a promise remains of entering into his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it. For indeed the great news, the Basura, was brought to us as well as to them in Mount Sinai. But the word that they heard did not benefit them, not having been mixed with belief in those who heard it. For we who have believed, trust, and obey do enter into that rest, as he has said, as I swore in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest. And yet his works have come into being from the foundation of the world. For somewhere he has said thus about the seventh Yom, and Elohim rested on the seventh Yom from all his works. And in this again, if they shall enter into my rest. Since then it remains for some to enter into it. And those who formerly received the Basura, the great news, did not enter in because of disobedience through unbelief. He again defines a certain Yom, this Yom, saying through Dawood so much later, as it has been said, this Yom, if you hear his voice, do not harden your labim. For if Yahusha ban of Nun established him in rest, he would not have spoken of another Yom after that. So there remains a Shabbat keeping for the people of Elohim. For the one having entered into his rest has himself also rested from his works, as Elohim from his own. Let us therefore do our utmost to enter into that rest, lest anyone fall after the same example of disobedience through unbelief. For the word of Yahuwah is living and working and sharper than any two-edged sword, as it says in Yirmiyahu, the lab is desperately wicked, who shall know it? Yahuwah tries the lab in the kidneys, cutting through even to the dividing of nafash and ruach, and of joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the lab. And there is no creature hidden from his sight, but all are naked and laid bare before the eyes of him with whom is our account. Even to the dividing of being and nafash, and joints and marrow. Therefore, since we have a great Kahan Hagadol, a chief minister, who has passed through the Shamayim, Yahusha, the bond of Yahuwah, let us hold fast our confession. For we do not have a Kahan Hagadol, unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who was tried in all respects as we are, yet apart from sin. Therefore, let us come boldly to the throne of compassion and favor, in order to receive compassion and find favor for timely help. Matatyahu, Matthew chapter 11, verse 20. Then Yahusha began to reproach the cities in where most of his miracles had been done, because they did not repent. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! Because if the miracles that were done in you had been done in Sur and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I say to you, it shall be more bearable for Sur and Sidon in the yom of judgment than for you. And you, Capharnaum, who were exalted to the Shamayim, shall be brought down to the grave. Because if the miracles that were done in you had been done in Sodom and Amorah, it would have remained until this Yom. But I say to you that it shall be more bearable for the land of Sodom in the Yom of judgment than for you. At that time Yahusha, responding, said, Atodata Abba, Adan of the Shamayim and Arats, because you have hidden these from clever and learned ones, and have revealed them to children. Khan Abba, because so it was well pleasing in your sight to do it this way. All have been handed over to me by my Abba, and no one knows the Abba, no one knows the Ban except the Abba, nor does anyone know the Abba except the Ban, and he to whom the Ban wants to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I shall give you rest. Sabbath rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am meek and humble in love, and you shall find the Sabbath rest for your nafashim, your beings. For my yoke is gentle, and my burden is light. My burden is Torah. The Torah is light. Word of Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah. Natsarym, Shabat reading, part 3, with the command to observe the renewed covenant meal. I'm just going to read one verse and wrap it up. A couple verses, and that's it. And when evening came, he sat down with the 12, and while they were eating, he said, Truly I say to you, one of you shall deliver me up, betray me. And they were deeply grieved, and began to say to him, each of them, Adoni, is it I? And he answering said, He who has dipped his hand with me in the dish, he shall deliver me up. Indeed, the bond of Adam goes as it has been written concerning him. But woe to that man by whom the bond of Adam is delivered up. It would have been Tub for that man if he had not been born. And Yehuda, he who delivered him up, answering said, Rabbi, is it I? It is I. He said to him, You have said it. And as they were eating, Yahusha took lacham, and having Baruch and gave Todah, broke and gave it to the Talmudim, and said, Take, eat, all of you, for this is my body broken for you on your behalf. As often as you eat it, do this in remembrance of me. And taking the cup and giving Torah, he gave it to the Talmudim, and said, Take, drink from it, all of you, for this is the cup of the renewed covenant, in my blood that is shed for multitudes for the forgiveness of sins. But I say to you, I shall certainly not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on, to that Yom when I drink it anew with you in the reign of my Abba. And having sung a song, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Word of Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahusha. Last one. Yarmayahu, Jeremiah 15:15. You yourself know, O Yahuwah, remember me and visit me, and take vengeance for me on these who persecute me. In your patience do not take me away. Know that for you I have suffered reproach. Your words were found, and I fed on them, and your word was to me the joy and the rejoicing of my love. For your name is called on me, O Yahuwah, Elohim, Sabaoth, of multitudes and armies. I have not sat in the company of the mockers, nor do I exult. I have sat alone because of your hand, for you have filled me with displeasure. Why is my pain without end, and my wound incurable, that refuses to be healed? Are you to me like a failing stream, as Mayim not steadfast? Therefore thus said Yahuwah, if you turn back, then I shall bring you back before me, you shall stand. And if you take out the precious from the worthless, you shall become as my mouth. Let them return to you, but do not return to them. And I shall make you to this people a strong bronze wall, and they shall fight against you, but not overcome you. For I am with you to save you and deliver you, declares Yahuwah. And I shall deliver you from the hand of evildoers, and I shall ransom you from the grip of the ruthless. Word of Yahuwah. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahusha. Matatiyahu, Matthew chapter 28, verse 18. And Yahusha came up and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in the Shamaim and on the Arats. Therefore, go and instruct all the nations, immersing them in the name, power, and authority of Abba Yahuwah and of the Ban Yahusha and of the Ruach HaKodesh, teaching them to guard all that I have commanded you. And see, I am with you always until the end of the age. Amen. Word of Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah. And this concludes the Shabbat, the Natsarym Shabbat reading, part 1, 2, and 3. That I bid you farewell. Have Yahuwah Barakatah favor you and increase you, guard you, protect you, and strengthen you. Have Yahuwah make his face shine upon you, be compassionate and favorable towards you. Yahuwah lift his countenance and his presence and essence upon you, and give you shalom, and fill you with all the fruit of the Ruach, that we be a light to the nations and a light to one another, that we may sharpen each other as iron sharpens iron, that we might prepare each other to be a spotless, perfect, pure virgin bride, prepared for Adonai Alahainu, Mashiachainu, Malkiainu, Aishainu, Yahushua Mashiach, that we might be worthy to enter the marriage wedding supper of the Lamb, and to be brought into your chambers, that we be Chad one, that we abide in you, and you in us, that we be Tamim as you are Tamim. For you are Yahuwah, Malkiahusha, to make us Tamim in your image, Ruach HaKodesh. And to Palal and petition these things, Have Yahuwah, Malkiahusha, and Ruach HaKodesh, with praise and todah and gratefulness by the power of the Dam of the Shah of the renewed covenant, by your power and authority, Malkiahusha Mashiach, Adonai Eloheinu, Adani Wali, Turu Turu Turu, Aman Aman, Halal Yahuwah, Yahusha, Hallelujah, Halal Yahuwah, Yahusha. With that, bid you farewell. Shalom, Shalom, Yasharal, Shabbat Shalom, Ashbaka, and Chag Samak, Yom Achad, Yom Rishon, and Shabuatu. Have a great week. Shalom.